everybody. Welcome to Fracture Focus. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Gordon, alongside my brother, the bearded one, Mr. Dan Gordon. Dan, how are you doing? How's the beard going?
It is. Can't wait to get this thing off. But
are you having a good Movember?
It is. It's winding down, but yes, I am really looking forward to getting this thing off my face in the next.
It's starting to come in so thick and nice that actually I'm wondering if you might consider at this point, if you get past the itchy stage, actually giving it a shot. The women might actually dig you with the beard.
The women dig me regardless. The thing with the beard though is that for some reason, and I even did this back in college, I never get past the itchy stage. I've had beards actually thicker and more lush than even this one you're seeing right now, but I can always feel it's like there's something kind of hanging off the edge of me, and it's...
How long have you been growing this one out again?
This one has been going full bore for about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks, and it's still... How long does it take to get past the itchy stage? Matt, you got like a nice little nub right there. How long does it take you to get that so it was comfortable?
I don't know that you ever get past it. Just get over it.
So it never stops being itchy?
It's not itchy all the time. You don't notice it as much after a while.
And that, of course, is the man, the myth, the legend, the Matt, coming from the Bluffs of Council. Is that actually that, or is it Omaha?
It's in Omaha.
Okay, but we can still say Council Bluffs because no one knows what the fuck that means either.
Nah, that's good.
So
it's historical.
It always just stays itchy regardless.
Yeah, kind of.
See, people that I've talked to, I was in the similar situation as Dan. I've tried growing it out a while, and I didn't even make it as long as you. I made it 2 weeks before I went to rip my damn face off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never made it. But then people I talk to say if you just give it long enough, eventually it stops itching all the time, and you're fine with it. So
I'm to the point now. I've had this for almost 2 years.
Say what now?
So I've had this almost 2 years. I don't know what I'd look like without it. It's like the tan line comes in, I think.
We have known each other for almost 20 years now. I remember you without it. I'm guessing we've got pictures with you without it. So if we really need to do a shot-by-shot comparison, we can do that.
I think we're all right now.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Family coming over. It was a good time.
Yeah. Did you get drunk a lot?
Good turkey, good food. Yeah, I'm actually on water today because 4-day weekend's just too long.
Well, that's the perfect way to set the tone for the episode. So let's go ahead and jump into our topics, you guys. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. There was a trailer that came out maybe just over a week ago. Maybe it was a little bit less, but the new Justice League action trailer just hit the interwebs. And soon, I remember hearing about this. Even Mark Hamill was talking about it when he did Star Wars Celebration a few months ago, when he was still talking about the roll-up to Episode 7. So I guess that was quite a while ago. Well, when did that come out? December? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was quite a while ago. But I remember he was talking about getting to do the voice for the Joker again. And let's be honest, we all know that Mark Hamill is the best Joker that's ever been out there. Every time I think Batman, especially if it's animated, I'm still thinking it's got to be Kevin Conroy doing the voice that did it from the animated series. Probably one of the best animated superhero shows of all time. So when this trailer came out, when the news first came out that they were going to be doing this, I got excited again because ever since, I think the last series that I really liked was Justice League Unlimited before or after Batman Beyond?
It was after. Well, it was running concurrently for a while, but...
It was around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, but since then, there hasn't really been any real... Like, Bruce Timm stopped with doing the series. There was a couple movies I think he did. Mm-hmm. The DC movies switched over and did a New 52 continuity, so they were kind of hit or miss. The animation was good. I didn't really get into them. For me, it doesn't get any better than the DC universe that was Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Justice League Unlimited, which I guess are technically all one series that was just, seasons later, whatever. And having Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill back to do Batman and the Joker is freaking awesome. I don't know if they've got Tim Daly doing Superman. Did you guys hear that on the trailer?
Not on the trailer, no.
I didn't hear it, no.
And I don't know if they've got the same girl doing Wonder Woman that did it in this series either. But it looked, what did you guys think about the trailer? My first gut reaction was it looked kind of like, because the series are only going to be 15-minute episodes. Mm-hmm. It's not a half-hour show, which I'm a little bit like, what? Are they going a lot more kiddie, which I understand. They kind of got to go for the kids. But I don't know. Batman and Justice League was adult and kid. It was great for everybody. Well, let's get to that in a minute. Yeah. So it's 15-minute episodes, and it looked kind of like Bruce Timm production animation, but like a little bit toned down or a little bit quicker. Or, I don't know. What did you guys think about the trailer?
Well, I think overall I do agree. Like the animation style, it runs pretty consistent with what we've seen in Justice League, Justice League Unlimited, all the prior series. This time around, the style is a bit more kiddie. It seems as though we're not going to be getting that same kind of almost adult depth from what they're kind of presenting. You see like Elastic Man just kind of being throttled in front of about 20 different laser cannons at one point, and I think that's still going to be fine. I think it's still going to be a solid series, but I don't think it's really just going to be just more of here's kind of what we'd seen before. They are kind of going in a different direction with what they're trying to do with this particular series, and I think I'm definitely going to be giving it a chance.
Yeah, well, I would agree. Let's definitely give it a chance. I think you're right. I think it's skewed a little bit more towards the younger kids, which, you know, you can't fault Cartoon Network for doing it. Someone's got to get these kids into it. Do you guys think that and Matt, we'll get to your opinion in just a second. Do you guys think, really quick before I forget, that we'll ever have the caliber of the quality of story depth that is not only, you know, can be for kids like these shows that we really love from our youth, but that also had adult content that wasn't in it, you know, like that perfect balance that made Batman and Justice League so good? Do you think we're going to see that again?
In this series?
No. I mean, do you think it's likely that we're going to see it again in the next 5, 10, 15 years?
My honest opinion, no. They're doing the things right that they need to do. They're getting the voice actors, because that's always been like the thing that DC animation has carried, is the voice acting. You think about the original Batman series. It had great voice acting. It introduced characters, but it also had kind of thing where it brought everything together. You knew who Batman was. It had Robin, incorporated him well. And then even with like Justice League, they had great voice acting. And what I kind of liked about the Justice League is they would bring a character in for one episode. So you'd get to see somebody like Atomic Man, or, you know, you'd get to see some of those lesser characters that probably couldn't carry their own cartoon, but they got to be part of the series. That's what I liked about the original Justice League. When I look at this one, I see kind of why they're doing it. They're bringing it more in line with their movie universe. With those three characters, you have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. It's going to kind of, I imagine it's going to follow that kind of thing, and it's slightly introduce people.
You mean like by movie universe, you mean just because those characters are maybe a little bit more popular today because of the DC current movies? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do that, trying to bring more people in on more levels.
Oh, crap.
Now, obviously, you know, what we've said, they got Batman right, obviously. Probably the best Batman ever. At least, I mean, from my childhood, was the animated Batman. Having Kevin Conroy on there doing the voice is definitely key. Mark Hamill is the Joker. You really couldn't have a different Joker. In what I've seen, they've said that James Woods is going to be doing Lex Luthor in this one, so it'll be a little bit different, I think, than the original Justice League. James Woods.
That could be interesting.
You know, he's a great actor, so I imagine he's going to bring something to it. As far as for the animation we were talking about, I was a little let down with it. It looks like it's just going to be primarily a lot of action. The animation's not going to be as solid, and I think it's because of that 11 to 15 minute runtime that they're going after. I think they're wanting to put a lot of product out there, and unfortunately, I think they're going to kind of follow this trend where, you know, kids' attention spans aren't long enough now as they used to be, so we just have to feed them in small doses.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, you know, when you say there's probably going to be a lot more action, yeah, I agree, especially, I mean, that's in the title. You know what I mean? I think that is probably what they're going for, and they're probably going for people with less attention spans and quicker, the YouTube generation. I didn't even consider that. Yeah, I think that we should definitely give it a shot. Obviously, we're gonna check it out and see what it is, but man, how great would it be to just like have kind of a renaissance of, I mean, DC is so not hitting it in the movie universe right now. Although we just saw Doctor Strange again yesterday, and watching that Wonder Woman trailer again, it looks really good. You know,
how much did we say though about the Batman v Superman?
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong. We've been burned before, and we would probably be even way more excited if those movies had turned out to be as good as. That's one of the funniest things that I think we've had several conversations about in the past is why is DC so good at making animated features and so awful if you don't count the Dark Knight trilogy, at least within the past 10 plus years, at making these movies. When how hard with Marvel killing it, how hard would it be to actually make an awesome movie that people are gonna love with Batman and Superman? I mean, how can you really fuck that up? Man, they managed to. But the DC, I mean, have you seen like the Wonder Woman, the Batman, Superman, Apocalypse, Public Enemies?
Yep.
They're in their own continuity, which kind of borrows from the DC animated universe of the TV series, but might be slightly different. But it's the same voice actors, and I mean, those were just awesome. They were awesome, and the what do you call it? Live action movies. It's like they keep shooting.
But they're trying to do
blanks.
something different with the movies. I mean, it's...
I hear that. I don't mind different as long as different's good. You know? I remember hearing some other people that were making a similar defense where they were talking about how, well, you can't have it both ways. We got frustrated with Superman Returns because there wasn't much action. It was kind of emo, mopey. Oh, Lois has got a girlfriend. How do I be a nice guy and have
I
her
did not see
back?
that movie. Lois has a girlfriend.
Now that might have changed everything.
I think that was a different movie.
That might have changed everything. But
Then he would
and
have
then
to be
they
the
say,
Superman
so then we
to
got
steal
Man
her
of
away.
Steel, which was like the pendulum swinging the other direction, which was so much action. And my problem wasn't with the action; it was just my issues were constantly washed out color tones that was mopey. Superman's always feeling sorry for himself. This, that, and the other. And they say, well, if you don't want it this way and you can't have it this way, I'm like, no, that's saying that there's only two options. There's an infinite amount of options for story. You want a good story about someone that's out of place, but doesn't have to get down and drag the entire audience down with feeling that I just don't fit in. Captain Frickin' America.
Yeah.
He's got the same kind of issues, but he does it and uplifts everybody. And you know what he didn't have? He had no frickin' parents. Superman had frickin' Pa and Ma Kent. And in these movies, you even hear the exact opposite of the advice that we've known that they used to give Clark the advice, so he becomes the ultimate role model. You hear her saying, Batman v Superman, be all or be none of it. You don't owe this world a damn thing. That is so not the what Pa and Ma Kent used to teach their kids. Or, Superman in any of the mythologies before. It's just weird. I don't know. Sorry, what were you saying, Matt? Yeah, follow that.
Yeah. No, in regards to it, I mean, I think they have kind of crapped the bed in the movie universe, to put it lightly. I am excited for Wonder Woman. I think it's the right direction, the origin story part of it, kind of going back in time and showing, feeding off of what a little bit of the Batman v Superman gave you with the photograph and stuff like that. So I think I'm optimistic about Wonder Woman. Now, in regards to the rest of it, I mean, I can't really say. I think part of the problem is they try cramming too much into a movie and too many characters and no development and stuff like that. And it's Marvel does that by giving them origin stories in their own movies, so it's a little bit different. Now, I guess back to the live series. I mean, those same things you touched on, the characters, the animation. Some of them were even kind of dark, and it. To me, as a kid, I was never put off by that, but I do have a feeling that just the way that they make things now, the way that they're doing them, it's almost like they're underestimating their demographic or even underestimating kids as to what they can and can't like. I guess I'm interested to see. I'm concerned with just not enough content there.
You mean like as far as only being 15 minutes or?
Yeah.
In addition to that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be any plot to it. I mean, it's just going to be an event. Here's the event, and it's over.
I'm assuming there's no. Can you imagine if it's 15 minutes with commercials? How fucking bad that would be. Here's 3-minute intro, commercial, 5-minute plot, commercial, 3-minute wrap up, commercial. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming they're not going to do that. That would just piss too many. But you know what? Do you think that there's going to be no commercials and it's just going to be 15 minutes straight? I don't think any TV shows do that.
Well, because
I think you're gonna get 11 minutes.
Yeah, what does a Cartoon Network do with their 15-minute block? Like Robot.
Do they have a 15-minute?
Well,
like Robot Chicken.
Like Robot Chicken and
Teen
those other
Titans?
Adult Swim series where they, Squidbillies, all the rest of them, where I don't recall if those had commercial breaks in between.
I'm trying to think. Like, wasn't Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Wasn't that only 15 minutes? Yeah, there was no commercial there.
Yeah, because every episode was 2. But usually what they did is they ran the first part of it, and then they just, piled in commercials, and then they went on to the next part.
Oh, is that what it was? So it was like a half-hour show, but then they did 2 15-minute episodes? God, has it been that long?
Yep.
I don't remember that. God, that show was awesome.